Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you tagging along with us this morning, staying here from Rocky Creek. If you're new to our channel, welcome. For those of y'all returning, we thank y'all. So it's rained a lot here the last few days. Luckily, it hasn't been major downpours of rain, so we don't have the flooding issues. It's supposed to rain like this for about the next few days, but luckily, like I said, it's supposed to just kind of be steady, light rain. But we're gonna go ahead and get these animals fed real quick, do our morning chores, and then I actually got all my cattle panels, and we're gonna try to bust out some more of this trellis real quick and update you on what's going on in the garden. Morning, piggies. How are y'all? Y'all ready to eat? Hey, another bowl there. Now, I've been having to do them two separate bowls because they just get to fighting way too much over one bowl. And the sad part is, even though once one finishes up with this, usually Miss Olivia here, she's gonna be real mean to Henry in a little bit, and she's gonna take his food anyways. Happens every day. Morning, chickens. I know it's a muddy mess. There. Some for y'all. So I've been sprinkling a little bit over here for these little ones. Q-tip. What up, Q? Everybody hi? Breakfast time. I can hear my man Mater up here. He's super sweet, but he likes his food. Oh, real quick as I'm passing by it, update. That fig tree I talked about a long time ago, as you can see, it's really coming back. So it definitely survived. I just put this chicken wire around it for right now to keep the deer away from it, but I need to get a better fencing until it can get pretty mature. Mater, what are you doing, brother? Morning. How you doing, my man? Come get your breakfast. You sleep good? Huh? Good to see you, brother. Be a good day. We're about 3 weeks out from processing this big batch of meat birds. Of course, we did the 2 Cornishes and the 1 Red Ranger already, but you can see they're about ready. What's up, brother? These guys are looking good, still super healthy. So yeah, about 3 more weeks, I'll have 14 more birds to put in our freezer. All right, all the big animals are done. Let's just take a quick peek at the rabbits. Typically, the rabbits only need something about every other day. Really, their water's a big thing, but temperatures are down a little bit because of the rain, so they should be good, but we just gotta double check and make sure. Morning, bunnies. Morning, sweet belle. Yeah, you got plenty of food. Water's good. Cinnamon, we'll top you off tonight. Your food's good. Scotty, good. Everybody's got hay too. So even when the temperatures drop though, I still leave the marble in there because they will like to lay on it since it's nice and solid. I just don't use the ice, so don't think you gotta take it out every day. Once you put it in, just leave it in until temperatures really drop consistently. All right, so I'm not really sure how many cattle panels I was gonna need, but I picked up 5 of them the other day. Hopefully that's gonna get us through what we need. The bad part about cattle panels is even though they last forever, there's like no good way to load those things up or to haul them. No matter what truck I use, I found my buddy's really long trailer seems to be the best option, and I can leave them flat. But you know, even yesterday I had a work truck that had a 10-foot bed on it, and it's still always a task to get them, especially if you're getting multiples of them at a time. I watched the news this morning and they said that our current rain totals as of now for the year is equivalent to where we should be around August. So we're about 2 months ahead of schedule in terms of how much rain we got. That gives you an idea of how kind of a odd spring and summer we've had in terms of rain. Let's go here in the garden real quick. I'm gonna give you an update on some plants, and then we'll get to plug it in the trellis system, and hopefully this will finish it off or get it very close to finished. All right, so if y'all been following us at all on Facebook or Instagram, I posted a few things recently from the garden, because right now, guys, I'm continuing to get super stoked. Let me show you a quick update real quick. These melon plants are doing really well. There's a little spider there. But these were the direct seeds that we plugged back in for those, and they seem to be doing really well. No complaints there. Hopefully these things will hold on and we'll be just fine. This part here has still been a dud. There was a bunch of weeds in here. I pulled those out, and as you can see, I did end up getting a few turnips and radishes out of here the other day. The carrots that were in there really didn't do much, but these weren't from Baker Creek. I actually had tried some seed tape that I'd purchased at local feed store and was not happy at all with it. So I think I'm gonna end up, there's a few little radishes and stuff that are left to go, and I'll get those out here in the next few weeks. But once we get all that stuff out, I got some carrot seeds that I think I'm gonna try to sow in here after that. So this is gonna pretty much be a dud. This kale, check out that kale, guys. The kale's looking good. Leaves are really starting to produce. It stayed really small for a long time, but now it's really starting to take off. So you can just break it off right there. I love kale. Fresh, sauteed, whatever it might be, good stuff. The onions here are doing really good. Now, I've never grown onions before, and I had noticed here recently, this one almost is like producing a flower. Those of y'all that are experienced with onions, let me know, is it kind of like potatoes that once they flower and die off, that's an indication when you should be harvesting them? You know, let me know. I saw that the other day and just thought I'd ask you, get your opinion on it. I haven't had a chance to look it up online yet to see what exactly that may or may not mean. This lettuce is doing awesome. Don't pay attention to this right here. I came through, as you can see, I harvested all of this, and then it picks back up like normal. And then I harvested this right here through here, and then it picks back up like normal. I've had more lettuce than I know what to do with right now, and I've been trying to research different things to do with it. I can only eat but so much salad. If there's anything I learned maybe next year, unless I'm gonna be selling it, which I don't plan to do right now, is I'll probably do about half of the lettuce that I did this year. But nonetheless, it's worked out really good. This cabbage plant's struggling, but these ones are doing actually pretty well. You know, these ones are forming up really well. This one in particular looks really good. It's forming a nice little head in there. So cabbage is doing well. I feel like these Brussels sprouts have really started to they kind of like double here in the last week. So those seem to really be doing well too. Corn, still looking about the same. It's germinated, slowly growing, kind of steady. Green beans continuing to grow, starting to get some buds here. We're gonna get these trellised up today, so we should be good on those. So if you remember in the last video, I talked about how I had made a mistake because I didn't mark my actual garden. And so I couldn't remember which ones were the market moors and which ones were the Chicago picklings because they hadn't produced any fruit yet. So I guessed at it when I transplanted, and good thing is, I'm pretty sure I guessed right, because if you followed us on our social media, I had posted recently where I came out here and I was shocked to find I actually had 2 pickles, Chicago pickling cucumbers on the plants. So like right here, you can see we got one starting to develop right there. We got a bunch of buds and stuff all over these things and blooms. So it's just a matter of time, but I harvested the 2. And I'll tell you what, guys, it tasted delicious. Even though I wasn't ready to pickle them yet, I went ahead and diced it up and ate it in a salad. It was really good. Now let me show you these ones that we trellised up. I just saw something pretty cool with them the other day when I came out here. And check this out. So one, they're running up just fine. This one right here has just gone crazy. But if you look, we're in business, baby. So, and there's a bunch more that are starting up here. And then this guy's running. This one actually got running so much that I had to, somehow these 2 like ran in together and intertwined, and I had to try to get them slowly separated so they could go, because if you can see, this guy is almost to the top of the trellis. Tomato plants are doing good. If you notice, you see that right there? I came out here the other day. This particular tomato plant had gotten so big so early that it had fallen over. And so I just had this little fiberglass post. I threw this in just real quick to give it some stability until we get this trellis put in here to get through for right now. But if you notice, tomatoes are doing great. The experiment that we did, where I said we plugged it in all the way right up to the leaves, you can see they've already started growing up higher. So it seems like that's gonna work just fine. These pepper plants have been slow growing, but they seem like they're growing. They're definitely getting some height, especially down when you get towards this end where they get more sunlight. You know, we're starting to get some better height on our peppers. So yeah, guys, overall, I'm getting pretty stoked about the garden. It's got me motivated more to keep rolling. keep things going, stay out here and stay on top of things. But as of right now, since stuff is growing so much, we got to get this trellis in here where it's going to start to be not very good for the plants. So let me grab what I need. We're going to get this knocked out. All right, so I think I got it laid out about how I want it. I do think I'm going to be a couple T-posts shy. I can get them up, but my plan was for every 16-foot panel to have 3 T-posts, 1 at each end and 1 at 8 foot to give it more stability. And I got 1 or 3 of the cattle panels that I'll need to get another one for. So that's only about $9, so it's not a big deal. So as you can see, we got the one kind of pre-laid out right here will be for these tomatoes. We got this one here for the red slicing tomatoes. These ones aren't big enough, so I'm not going to worry about that. So once again, I'll need a second cattle panel for that as they start to grow. I've got this one here for this row of cucumbers, and then another one down there for that row, and then I got that set up right there for the green beans. Now, I initially said I was going to do a hoop style trellis for the green beans, but I actually opted not to. The only reason being is that I was going to end up needing to buy about 1 additional cattle panel and probably about 6 or 8 additional T-posts. And for the aesthetics looks of the arch, I just felt like it's not worth spending the extra money. So we're just going to run a straight row here for the beans, and I'll just need to get 1 more panel for the other row of beans as they start to grow. So I think this is going to work out for now. This will get about 90% of our trellises done that we needed for the time being, and we're going to go ahead and get it to work because I only have supposedly about a 2-hour window before rain kicks back up. So we got to make use of our time while we got it. All right, as you see, we got all the T-posts in along this line. We got those ones right there ran for the tomatoes. So now that we got all those T-posts up, now we just got to start hooking on these cattle panels. And the biggest struggle is going to be for me is trying to handle 16-foot lengths by myself. So I'm hoping if I can just get it in there without damaging the plants, get one end hooked, maybe we'll be okay. So we'll see how it goes. So putting the cattle panel in at the green beans without trying to damage the green beans went horrible. Trying to manage it on my own. This was the only one I was worried about because the other ones, you know, the cucumbers will run to where they need to be. The tomato plants are easy because I can tie those to different tensions to keep them stabilized. But I wanted to get the beans fairly close so they would freely run on it. Well, I had a bit of a disaster with this one, which I packed the dirt around and got to stand back up, but it had crimped it off down at the base of that stem, so it very well may die. So, and then I also, this one right here, which was a fairly well established green bean plant, same thing with it, and I got the dirt mounted up, sort of holding it up, but I'm not sure if it's going to die because it crimped it pretty bad at the base. So I think I got those dragon tongue green beans getting started up in seed trays. So, but they were going to go in a separate row. I still have some contender green bean seeds. I may, just to be on the safe side, I may go ahead and get a couple of those plugged into real quick to go along with the dragons. So if these ones end up dying, I can just replace them. But, you know, I got some good friends that come help me every now and again, but, you know, they got lives too, so I try not to bother them. So, you know, I try to do as much of this on my own, but sometimes it does help to get some help when you need it. The wife, you know, she's inside taking care of little man. It's early in the morning because we're trying to beat the rain, so I can't really get her out here right now either. Otherwise, I know she would have came and helped me if I asked for it, if she's not taking care of him. So, you know, we're just gonna make do with what we got, and let's try to get the rest of these done. Now I'm only putting one zip tie on each one right now just to get them held in place, and then I'll come back in and hit every one with at least 3 on each T-post. But you can see like this one right here where I don't have a middle T-post, it's got a whole lot of flex and wiggle to it, versus when you come over to this one where I was able to put one in the middle, it's still got some flex, but it's got a whole lot more stability up there in the front, versus over here that don't, it's still moving. So I definitely need to go get another T-post for some of these that only have 2 and get that better stabilized. All right, y'all, starting to come together. You can see we got trellis for those tomatoes, trellis for these. Now I will say, I do think I messed up big time. I don't think, this is probably about a 3-foot space if I were to guess. And I'm pretty sure as those tomato plants grow, this is not at all gonna be enough room to get in here and harvest them like we should. So I definitely learned my lesson there, that as these plants develop, it's gonna be really hard to harvest everything without it going bad and us seeing it. So next year, I need to put a greater spacing in between each one of those. Then we got this row of trellis for the cucumbers. Now I did leave a space right here in case I thought it might be easier to cut through instead of always having to go completely around the garden. That does leave that one plant, but I have a feeling that the way these cucumbers have been growing this direction with the sunlight is once it trails to right there, I'll tie it in and they can go up the trellis, and then that'll hopefully still leave me this little space right here that I can cut through. And I'm gonna try to feed this guy more straight up and see if it'll work out that way. And then right here, we got the setup for our green beans right there. We will end up doing the dragon tongue beans right here. So I'll need one more for that. Over here should end up being melons. So I shouldn't need anything for over there. So right now we should just need one more cattle panel for the dragon tongues. I'll need one more here for the other tomatoes we planted. And I will go ahead and when I do the other row of the paste tomatoes, I'm gonna bring them over further. So that'll create that gap that we need right there. So guys, it's starting to sprinkle a little bit, so we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Nothing real big today, but we really needed to get the rest of these trellises in. So all I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna lightly weave what bigger cucumbers there are onto this trellis system, and then I'm gonna go ahead and head in for the day. I'm gonna shower up, and since it's gonna rain, I'm just gonna spend some good quality family time with the crew inside. So guys, appreciate you hanging out with us. As always, we appreciate your love and support. Until then, y'all be good, and we'll see you here real soon on the next episode. Y'all be good.